Hi, I'm Tony Danino. I'm here with Mr. Lazzaro, a biology teacher at Plum High School. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So I have a couple questions for you. How long have you been taught? How long have you taught at PHS?
This is my fourth full year, but I did 2 years of long-term subbing at the middle school and the high school.
Where did you go to college at, and what was your major?
I went to the University of Pittsburgh, where I earned my bachelor's in biological sciences, and I earned a master's in the arts of teaching.
Where was your first teaching job at, if it was not a Plum?
My first teaching job was at Plum High School.
All right. What is the most rewarding part of your job?
The most rewarding part of my job is seeing students working together to solve a very challenging or difficult concept. A lot of the stuff that we cover requires a lot of teamwork for students to really understand what's going on, and seeing them work together and collaborate is probably the most rewarding part.
That's really cool. Um, what are some of the things you wish you could change about your job, if there are any things?
There's not too much I would change. I mean, I work in a great district with a lot of great students. They work really hard. The one thing I wish that I could change is just one of those, always wish that your students could succeed at everything no matter what, and if there's more I could do to help them and things of that nature.
And how do you spend your time outside of school? Do you have any hobbies or fun things to do?
In terms of hobbies, fun things to do, I'll take my dog for a walk, stuff like that. I'll do certain camping trips, things like that, and I watch a ton of sports.
What's your favorite sport?
It's really what's in season: hockey, soccer, basketball, football. I watch it all.
All right. Thank you for your time, and back to you guys.
Hello, I'm Eric Trend here with Mr. Miller, a teacher at Plum High School. Mr. Miller, what is your job here at PHS, and can you give us an example of what you do?
Yeah, I teach high school mathematics. Currently, I teach statistics and AP statistics, which you should know because I have you in class.
I like that class a lot. What do you enjoy the most and the least about your job?
Um, the most I enjoy is just teaching students and being around kids. They make my job fun and easy. Um, the least I'd have to say is probably in-school duty, but you got to do your duties.
Yeah. Um, has teaching always been something you wanted to pursue?
No, I did not go to school originally to teach. I originally went to school as a chemistry major at Clemson University, and after after my first 2 years, I decided to switch to a mathematics degree, and with an emphasis in statistics. And after working for a few years, I was kind of bored, so I went back to school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and my dad convinced me to give education a try. So I went and got my Master's of Arts in Teaching at University of Pittsburgh and got a job teaching at Plum High School, and I'm glad I did.
That's interesting. I understand you wrestled at Clemson University.
I did.
How has wrestling prepared you for life?
Uh, I think all athletics help young people and people in general prepare for life just through all the extra effort that you put forth, whether you play football, wrestle, basketball, gymnastics, anything that you do where you really have to work towards a goal. I think helps prepare kids for life in general, because you always get hurt and you have to work through injuries. You set goals and try to obtain those goals, and I think that's probably prepared me the most for life.
Yeah, I think sports have helped me in life too. Who has influenced you the most throughout your teaching career?
Probably my father. My father helped me decide on teaching as a career, so I'd have to give him the credit for, and he's influenced me even today when I sit down and talk to him about issues at school. He helps me through them, and so he's still influencing me now today.
That's good. What do you look forward to in the upcoming years with teaching?
New crop of kids. Every year you get new ones, and they bring all new challenges and new interests. So just every year it's fun. This job's a fun job because it changes from year to year. You might teach the same content, but different students get the content differently, so you have to teach it in a different manner or use different techniques. So I just look forward to next year with the new kids. Not yet, though. They still have half a year to go.
Thank you for your time. I look forward to your class this afternoon.
Sounds good.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ashley Pellegrino here at Plum Senior High School with geoscience teacher Miss Rachel Austen. Hi, Mrs. Austen. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Ashley?
Pretty good. Thank you for asking. So tell me, where did you attend college and what did you major in?
I attended IUP and I majored in Earth and Space Science Education.
So that's perfect for teaching geoscience.
Oh, definitely.
Now, how has Plum changed since you went here? I know you went here.
Yes, Plum has changed more, I think, in the school spirit. You guys are really into going to the football games. You hold the pep rallies. When we were here, it was kind of like, oh, maybe we'd go to the game on Friday. So it's nice to see you guys are really involved.
What is it like to work with your former teacher, Mrs. Magnusson? I know you work in a pair together.
Yeah, it's really nice because I've known her from a student perspective and now a teaching perspective. And I know how she does the classroom, so I can help prepare you for when she's coming back. So hopefully the transition will be a little nicer for you guys.
I think it'll be a good transition. Since you will only be here for the first semester, what do you plan on doing with the second semester?
For the second semester, I will actually still be here at the high school. I will be the building sub, so you guys will still see me around.
It's going to be nice to have you as a sub. How do you like to interact with your students?
I like to try and get you guys talking during classes, I'm sure you know. So sometimes I really have to pull you guys and really get you going, but I like to know what's going on in your lives too, so I can try to incorporate that into the lessons.
Now, what is your favorite topic of geoscience that you teach?
My favorite topic is oceanography, which unfortunately I don't get to teach you guys. She will, so that's kind of a shame.
We'll be thinking about you when we learn it. If you could teach any other subject, what would you teach?
I would teach history. When I went to graduate high school, I was actually intending to be a history major, and I switched over the summer, so I would definitely go for that.
Yeah, I want to be a history teacher, so I can see what you mean. Well, thank you for talking with us today, Miss Austen. We hope you have a great rest of the school year. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Hannah Laboon. I'm here with Miss Magnusson. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
It's good. So, where did you go to college?
My bachelor's degree is from the University of Pittsburgh in environmental science and geology, and my master's is from the Slippery Rock in education.
That's interesting. So, what made you pick your degree?
I chose this degree after college. I worked for a while with the Audubon Society and the Carnegie Science Museums, and I felt a calling to teaching, and so I went back and I got my master's.
Do you have any hobbies besides teaching?
Yes, I have a photography business outside of here, and I have 2 little girls, and so their hobbies are my hobbies.
That's cool. What's your favorite part about being a teacher?
My favorite part about being a teacher is influencing students, especially steering them towards their better knowledge of the environment.
That's cool. So, what would you say is the most rewarding part of your job?
My most rewarding part would be finding out that students have then followed that career, have gone into geology or meteorology or any of the sciences that I teach. It makes me feel as though I've played a role in their life. That's important to me.
Is there any standout moments in your teaching career?
Yes. A couple years ago during a senior presentation, the girl was saying who she had shadowed. She had shadowed this geologist, and she was talking about him. And then I came to hear his name, and it was a student that I had that had done really well in my class. And I felt like a, proud teacher to have had that influence.
It's really cool. So if you could go back in time and change your career, would you?
I think I would be a million different things, but I love teaching, but I love lots of things. But I would say I'd probably go back. I had an interest in environmental law, and I'd probably maybe go back to go to law school.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nick Pina here with Plum High School forensic teacher Miss Betta. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Was being a forensics teacher always your plan?
It was not. Going into college, I wanted to be a doctor and started taking education classes, and my interest changed. And my goal, I guess, ultimately was to become a biology teacher.
That's cool. What made you want to be a forensic teacher in the end?
It kind of just fell into my lap, and as I've begun teaching it, it's just a really interesting subject, and seeing the kids get interested in it and actually want to pursue careers in forensics fields is really what's rewarding and keeping me here.
That's cool. What kind of education is required to teach forensics?
In order to teach forensics, you just need a basic science certification, so like a general science, biology, chemistry, physics, all of that would allow you to teach a forensics course.
Okay. How do TV shows about crime solving and forensics compare to real life crime solving and forensics?
They have some similarities, some overlapping characteristics, but for the most part on TV, they make it look pretty. They make it look like you can solve a crime in 60 minutes or 30 minutes, when in reality it takes a lot of time and cases are not always as successful as on TV.
Thank you. What role does technology play in forensics?
Technology plays a huge role. I mean, in order to collect samples and to get your evidence and analyze it, you need tons of different tools and technologies. It just all depends on the different types of evidence you're dealing with.
What do you enjoy most about teaching forensics?
Again, it's just the rewarding part where kids want to pursue careers. They want to do this after even just taking this course, which is just really awesome.
Thank you for your time.
Hello, I'm Alexander Ferguson here with Mr. Keck at the Plum Senior High. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good. So, what classes do you teach here?
I have one subject this year. It's pre-calculus. I do not have the advanced. I have the general pre-calculus.
Okay. How would you say your classroom is run? Loosely, on a tight shift?
I want to say loose and tight both, mainly because I'm not the type of person, if you walk in and you're late, I'm going to say you're late. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. I'll mark it in the book, and when you get 3, I give you detention. I don't yell at you. I'm not going to scream at you. So from that sense, I'm as tight as any other teacher around here, but I'm also not going to yell and scream at you about it. It is what it is, and when you got 3 or 4 and you've earned your detention, you get your detention.
Okay, so you're tight on the rules but loose on how you enforce them?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I'm enforcing them, but laid back in terms, I'm not going to yell and scream at you. That's not my style.
Okay. How much homework do you generally give out?
It's daily, but quite often, if you are a good worker and you work in class like you're supposed to, you can find yourself quite often not having to take some homework home. But, that's maybe 2 days out of the week you take something home.
Okay. What is your policy on late work?
That's simple. I don't like it. Do I take late work? Yeah, I do. But the problem becomes, as a student, if you're behind turning work in, that means when the quiz or the test comes and you haven't done the homework, you're probably going to fail the test or the quiz. And unfortunately, that's your fault. And while I will take the homework and that might help your grade, it's a little late after you failed the test or the quiz.
Seems fair. Last year you had a student teacher. Do you normally get student teachers, or was that like a one-time thing?
I have had 3 student teachers, and I've been lucky enough that I have had 3 great student teachers. I have nothing but I found them an asset to my classroom. That's why I say they were great teachers. If I spent so much time managing them, then I wouldn't feel that way. But I love having student teachers until I get a bad one.
And do you have any advice for anyone taking your class?
Very simple. Do your homework. If you do the homework and ask questions when you have questions, you will have no problem. None.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions we have for today. Once again, I'm Alexander Ferguson here with Mr. Keck at Plum Senior High.
Start working on practice sheet. Yeah. Come on, get your practice sheet out. Like this cookies term. You have to be specific. Do you get that?
Hi, my name is Stacy Seitz, and I'm here with Dr. B, a science teacher at Plum Senior High School. How are you today, Dr. B?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. All right, first question. What inspired you to become a science teacher?
My background in science, my PhD in neuroscience, actually made me choose the career of becoming a science teacher. My son was young, so I was trying to change my careers from research. I was thinking what career to choose. And I thought teaching would be the best because I could bring in my research-based knowledge to kids.
Yeah, I'm sure it's nice interacting with all the kids. What or who inspired you to pursue a career like specifically in biology?
I had a lot of role models around me, and they were either scientists or they were medical doctors. So I wanted to either go into medicine or into research. So family members who were my role models.
They can be very persuasive. So this year you're teaching 3 different classes, bio, AP bio, and forensics.
Yes.
So how do you handle these classes, like particularly forensics?
It's really difficult. Forensics, what I'm doing this year is I made it quite a bit student-centered. I don't have a textbook. I designed the whole curriculum, but it was lecture-based. But in order to meet the students' needs, I just came up with a new strategy wherein, I do a lot of internet search. I pick up cases, and I've designed questions wherein students interact amongst themselves, and then we go over the material, and it seems to be working, and they're really liking it this year.
I'm sure it's hard to balance all 3 of those at the same time.
Extremely. I have to switch my brain gears. I have to go from general biology to AP biology. So 2 extremes. And then I have to come intermediate, which is forensic science.
Right. Yeah, that was basically the next question. How do you teach these classes differently?
All my classes since last year, I have started making them student-centered. So I make up these practice sheets for biology. I have these interactive note packets where it is interpretation of either some descriptive information or interpretation of graphs and diagrams. Then I show them animations, then there's discussion, kids work amongst themselves, and then I go over the whole material. It's reinforced either through labs or practice sheets. For biology, I have made practice sheets which are high-level critical thinking practice sheets. So it forces them to go over their textbook, interpretation again, plus connection of concepts. And forensics, I already told you, I made it very student-centered.
What are your favorite topics to teach in each of these 3 classes, and why?
AP bio and bio. I love forensic science too, but the workload is so much with 3 different courses. Because biology is my background, AP bio is very challenging, and biology is challenging because I have to come from my high level to their level. I have to put myself in general biology students' shoes and look at myself, okay, I'm a student. How do I make it conducive for students to learn? For AP bio, I have to make it challenging because I have to prepare them for college. And for forensic science, that's a real challenge because I have an array of students. So some of them really want to go into forensic careers, and some of them are here, they don't know why they took it. So I have to kind of balance. So that is the most challenging, balancing, especially for forensic science.
What are your goals for the AP bio class this year?
My goals for AP bio class, I push them, I nag them. I want them to get 4 or 5. And my goals are they get out of this class satisfied, saying, I am prepared for college. That is the most important thing.
I know you're involved with Science Olympiad, so what are your goals for that?
Oh, we want to go to the nationals this time, but I don't know with all my course load if I have really done too much this year for Science Olympiad.
And then what are your hobbies outside of the classroom?
Traveling, reading.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, Doc.
So much.
Back to the studio.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Crossley here at Plum High School with Miss Hollinger. How are you today?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So, what college did you attend and what major did you study?
I went to the University of Pittsburgh and studied secondary math education.
I'm going to Penn State, so we're kind of rivals.
I have a daughter in Penn State, so it's been a rival in our house.
So, have you always wanted to be a teacher? And if so, how did you know?
Actually, no. I went to college as a math and computer science major, and then I needed a job, and I got a job as a math tutor, which turned into an undergraduate teaching assistant, and I loved doing it, so I ended up changing my major.
Wow, that's cool. So, what subject do you teach, and why did you want to teach this subject?
I teach Algebra 2 and college algebra, and I just love math. It doesn't matter what math it is. I love it and enjoy teaching it.
I'm not a fan of math. So who was your inspiration to become a teacher and why, if you have any?
I do. My junior high math teacher, his name was Bob Formack. I had him for 7th and 8th grade, and I thought he was fabulous as a teacher. And then when I did my student teaching, I was able to do my student teaching with him. And it was a phenomenal experience.
Oh, that's cool. So what's your favorite part about being a teacher?
Definitely being with the kids. There's no doubt about it. They make my day. It's fun, and I love teaching kids.
Yeah, I want to be a teacher, and that's like one of the reasons why I want to be it. What's the most challenging part about your job?
The time. People think that when we go home at the end of the day, our job is done, and it's not. There's a lot of work that goes into it at home, grading papers, making lessons, and I spend a lot of time working on each day's lesson.
Well, that's understandable. So I've heard that you're a big Disney fan. So how often do you go, and do you go on like special occasions?
We go as often as we can. We love it down there, and we try to go to Disney as much as possible. We're lucky enough sometimes to celebrate special occasions, but sometimes we just go just to go.
Well, it's the happiest place on earth.
Oh, it is.
Lastly, who is your favorite Disney character?
So many to choose from. Probably Sleeping Beauty.
Mine's probably Jasmine. I like Jasmine.
My daughter likes her too.
Well, thank you for letting us interview. I'm Kathleen Crossley at Plum High School.
Hello, Carlos Henderson here with Mr. Foe, a teacher here at Plum High School. How are you doing today, Mr. Foe?
Very good, thanks.
When did you start teaching?
I believe the 2001 school year.
Interesting. Why did you choose to teach in the science field?
I knew that I really wanted to be a teacher. I have family members that are teachers, and the best teachers that I had, or at least the most interesting teachers I had, were science teachers, and it just kind of influenced me to go into that field, and I think that's probably why I do it today.
What's your favorite subject in biology?
Boy, I think I really enjoy botany. I really enjoyed cell biology. I don't know that I have any one specific. I really just enjoy understanding the whole scope of biology more and more as I teach it.
That's cool. I heard you're a coach at Valley. How's your team doing this year?
I am a coach at Valley. This is my 3rd year, and our record is not very good, but we are making a lot of progress, and I'm excited for what's to come at Valley. I think we're getting better, and that's ultimately what I'm pushing for.
Do you have any other coaching experience, and if so, where was it at?
I coached for a year in college after I was done playing, and then I coached a year with my dad and at Knock, and then I coached here at Plum for quite a few years, 5 or 6 years, and then 4 or 5 years at Penn Hills, and then now I'm at Valley. So I've been around quite a few places.
Prior to teaching, where did you get your education, and did you play any sports?
I went to IUP, and I played basketball there, so it was a really great experience for me there.
Last question. What do you enjoy most, coaching or teaching?
I look at them to be the same, really the same thing, kind of connected to one another. I don't know. I really enjoy both of them. I don't know. I can't answer it. I love them both equally.
Yeah, it's a tough question. Good luck with the rest of your season, and that's Carlos Henderson here with Mr. Fett.
Hello, I'm Taylor Williams, and here with me is Plum High School teacher, Mr. Jasper. Mr. Jasper, how are you doing today?
Good, Taylor. How are you?
I'm good, thanks for asking. Now, what subject do you teach?
I teach general chemistry and AP chemistry.
Have you taught any other classes besides chemistry?
I used to teach intermediate science as well when I first started here a long time ago.
So how did you first get into teaching?
Well, originally it wasn't my first degree. My first degree was in business, and I worked in a bank for a while and found out that the only people that make money in a bank are the people that own the bank. So I figured I'm going to go back, and I went back to school, and I've been teaching ever since.
Now, what do you say is your favorite part about teaching?
Just, you know, when especially when a kid, when they come into a science class, especially like chemistry, and you know they don't know anything about it, but then you know you see the results when they take their tests, when they do in AP chemistry, when they do the labs and stuff, and you see them actually sort of applying the concepts. That makes me feel like I'm doing my job.
So whenever you first started teaching, did you start off at Plum or have you taught other places?
I taught 1 year at a school near Johnstown, and then I'm in the middle of my 19th year here at Plum.
Now, would you say that you always wanted to be a teacher? Could you have seen yourself as a teacher whenever you were, say, 18 years old and a senior in high school?
Absolutely not. I originally, you know, I wanted, when I got into business, I wanted to be like a sports agent or, you know, something like that. But to be honest with you, I just didn't do what I needed to do in college for that to happen. It was my own fault. I didn't do internships. I didn't, you know, go out and network like kids have to do today to get ahead. And I just found myself behind the 8 ball. But I'm happy I'm a teacher, but originally, no, there's no way I thought I would be teaching.
So if you could teach any other subject, what do you think it would be?
Wow, that's a good question. History, nothing else.
Okay, well, finally, do you have any interest outside of teaching?
Yeah, I like to golf. My son and I like to golf. I like going to pirate games. Just doing things like that, going to the movies with my daughter, stuff like that.
Well, sounds like a lot of fun. Thank you so much for your time today. Now, I'm Taylor Williams, signing off.
I'm Mike Simboy here with Mr. Rock from the Plum High School. Mr. Rock, how you doing today?
Not too bad. Good day here.
Yep, very good day. First question, how did you get into teaching?
Well, I was a lab assistant while I was doing my undergrad in college, and I found that I really liked it, and so I ended up following that and becoming a teacher.
Cool. That's awesome. Has chemistry always been your favorite subject?
Oh, actually, no. It kind of fell into it, and I found that it was something I did half well in, and I found that I enjoyed it and carried it on from there.
Did you ever want to major in anything else?
Oh, man, if I could major in other things, that's a tough question. I really do enjoy my job every day. I find that I really enjoy helping people and teaching my subject that I like, chemistry. But what else could I do? Maybe I'd be a pilot. I don't know. We'll see.
Do you do any other teaching outside of Plum?
Yeah, I do teach at community college on the side, about one class a semester. But I honestly really do enjoy teaching high school. There's way more interaction, and I find that it's a lot better.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
Oh, hopefully I see myself still here and probably doing the same thing, I hope.
Good answer. What's the most unique experiment you've ever done?
Most unique experiment? About last year we were putting some sodium into water jugs, and it had blown sky high outside in the parking lot. It was really cool.
Yeah, I remember when I had your class a couple years ago. We had a lot of fun doing experiments. What do you like to do in your free time?
What do I like to do in my free time? Well, I like to watch a lot of Pittsburgh sports, and I end up doing a lot of yard work around the house because I actually really do enjoy doing that.
And finally, is it true that you have a little baby on the way?
Yes, I do. My wife and I, we are expecting a little girl at the end of February, so things are going to change big time.
Well, congrats. Mr. Rock, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.